Hello, beautiful, beloved sisters and women of the divine feminine of our current collective that are here because you have been called by your soul, by your essence to connect here and find a little bit more around the tangible, physical, and structural ways that the purity of Isis runs, and this 333-day purification temple. I am so grateful that there is a resonance and a deep remembrance to the sacred teachings and the law of one teachings that are held deeply within my cells, my atoms, my molecules, and the ability I have to channel and connect with the true Isis consciousness, as well as communicate directly with her as she is me. So if you have not already heard this information, I am the reincarnation of the goddess Isis. I have spent the last 2 years clearing, purifying, and reconciling her consciousness because it had many distortions, many manipulated aspects of receivership, and it is also something that is very important to understand that we do not give ourselves up for any god or goddess. We connect to our own god or goddess and we devote ourselves to our own unique source connection. And that is what the purity of Isis is about. That has been my journey of purifying her consciousness, is that everything that she has taught me and reminded me of is a process of the true purification, or what is called the Baraka process, which was an ancient Egyptian process to transcending the human identity and the human mind so that we can be our pure human expression here in this beautiful 3D world where we get to be cosmic 3D humans that get to have it all. And so for me, it is very important that I share with you how this structural information works. Yes, we work in telepathy. Yes, we work in the quantum field. Yes, we activate our ancestral magic and our medicine, and we collect the codes and the frequencies and our DNA upgrades and our frequency quantum leaps, and we receive vision of the future, and our oracles and our priestess and our conduit taps in more and more and more and more and more so that we can be the expression of our soul in this incarnation. But there's also many layers that are requiring to be witnessed, to be cleansed, cleared, purified, and released so that we can be that, so that we can become the embodiment of our own divine feminine expression, our own unique magic, this beautiful gift that you are, that I am, and be seen in our individuality. And to do that, it requires a level of dissension, followed by ascension, so that we can complete narratives and we can dissolve the aspects that are not us, the identity constructs that keep us from being in direct alignment with God, Source Creator at all times. And so with this awareness, this is the journey. The journey is 333 days. This is a commitment. It requires devotion. It is for the few. It is for the few that know within their heart, within every aspect of their being, that they are here to be in service to God. Priestess is a woman that is in God's name and God's word in every action of her life. That she is a devotee to God's Source Creator, and God guides her life. The High Priestess is a woman that has come to the knowing of this, that lives this, that teaches this, and that guides others to the knowing to be the full embodiment of, I do not live my life, but God guides me. I speak the word of God and I devote myself and all of my actions in God's name to all of humanity. This is a role of service. This is a role of receivership. This is a role of listening deeply. And so as you feel into your body, as you receive this information for your human mind to digest and fit with your sacred yes, to fit with this knowing that you're already cultivating, to really see if the human aspect of you is in alignment with the cosmic, the essence, the monad, your truest self. Are they able to come to a place where they actually work together? Can you bring your cosmic and your human being together to continue to guide yourself forward? If you're feeling as though these two aspects of yourself really don't agree, you will find this purification temple extremely difficult. And you won't make it unless you give up the conflict, the inner fight, the war within. There must be a willingness to surrender to your inner guidance system, to let go of your narrative, to let go of your mind and trust something greater than you, so that you can evolve at a rate that is tangibly instructed through the pragmatic processes and the transmissions that have been brought through me to give to you, so that you can connect more and more with yourself and have real tools that meet you in your trinity, your spirit, your mind, and your body. You have all aspects to be looked at once, and when you work with all of them in one go, you are able to catapult your experience into a new reality. So in saying this and giving a brief outline of what the intention or the energy behind the Purity of Isis is, yes, it's so much magic and there is so many miracles, and you will have visitations from angels, and you will have connection with beings from outer space and starseed remembrance. You will have past life vision. You will have future trajectory guidance of the mission and the purpose that you have here. It will be unshakable. It will be undoubtable. It is known. But in that, there are some logistical things. There are commitments that you require, and they are strong and stern in the devotional practice to God. If you can't say that you can be here for these now, then this isn't the container for you. If you are not willing to rearrange your human experience to make this your priority, this priority being your connection to you, to God. This is not about me teaching you to be anything. This is not about me giving you religion or science or an interpretation of how you should live your life or what you should be doing or having an expectation of who you should be or how you should show up. This is a process and a journey of moving through the remembrance process with some specifics that help you do this with more ease, to come into who you are, to be your source connection. That's the devotion. And if you can't be devoted to that, then this is not the aligned space for you. There are other coaches, there are other mentors, there are other beings that are teaching. What I teach is the highest consciousness of sacred experiencing that humans have here today. Remembering what you are, your infinite potential, and coming into pure presence in human experiencing. It's magic. And the majority do not know how to even access magic, let alone guide or teach it. So in this journey to unlocking your own magic, this commitment means that for this container specifically, there are 2 Zoom sessions a week. Now, because this is a video that will be used for multiple transmissions and Purity of Isis sessions, this specific day I will not share on this transmission, but you are required for 2 Zoom sessions a week at 5 a.m. Brisbane Standard Time and 5:30 a.m. Brisbane Standard Time. One of these sessions goes for an hour and a half, and the other one goes for 2 hours. We have a transmission session, which goes for the hour and a half, where we move through receiving the codes, the frequencies. We journey into the different dimensions, the realms. We meet our spirit guides. We meet our essence, our monad. We go through the quantum field to access what is required for us so that we can start to remember who we are. The second session is a 2-hour lesson of embodiment. So it's an embodiment process. It's learning how to use our gifts and abilities that we're claiming. We're bringing in, we can do all of this energetic work. We can do all of these transmissions. We can do all of this quantum work. But if we don't know how to actually do it ourselves, we don't know how to have the structure or the process or what each thing means, and also how to bring that into the 3D human reality, then we're going to never anchor what we know. We're never going to anchor our monad into ourselves. We're never going to live from our spirit essence. It is so important as we ascend to descend. And so the lessons are about working with how to bring those high frequencies, information, technology, remembrances into this reality, and how to gift it if you are already a healer, how to gift it to your clients. If you are in relationship, how to merge your relationship and create it into the absolute bliss state that you desire, how to manifest, how to create friendships and connections that meet all of your physical human needs, how not one part of your 3D reality has to be in lack, scarcity, or in sacrifice. Because that is a distortion that we have in our reality. A distortion of mind that is inaccurate. It is not the truth. There is no being that has to sacrifice anything. It is a belief system that we feel. The only thing that truly requires surrender and release is our thought forms and the story that we've created. And when we give that up to God, we can receive it all. And so in these 2 sessions, you are held incredibly close in vulnerability, openness, and transparency. It is my utmost value to ensure that everyone has a voice, everyone is heard, everyone has the ability to speak from their own wisdom and is called forth to share. The process is an initiation. At first, in the first initial days, there is a lot of clearing. There is a lot of shadow work. There is a lot that takes place in opening the space so that one can step up, one can move through. And so this process is that I slowly step back and you start to rise. And eventually, each priestess starts to stand with the same amount of knowing and embodied wisdom of that which I hold. Because they have come to remember themselves. They have been guided into the magic of what they are. And so as this process unfolds, there is many opportunities to bring in your own unique medicine and magic and share that with your sisterhood. To take your own initiative and hold space or offer what you be and who you are to the sisters to receive you. This is about a co-creation. This is about being acknowledged in your uniqueness. This is about being inspired. And so, as you continue down this path, you will be given a 333 days of lessons. Each day we have a lesson with a theme, with an awareness, with a practice, with a way to show up for ourselves, to deepen for our source and God devotional practice, and then how to bring that into our 3D reality. We have every possible thought, that we can have as a main human challenge will be covered. There is a library of information at the end of this, a library of information that you can hold onto ongoing in your experience if you make it to the end of the 333 days. That is there, accessed and for the keeping. The transmissions are also there. They are an offering to revisit at any time. However, with quantum healing, with this process, you aren't required to revisit anything that is done or brought through in a transmission, because everything is instantly integrated into your cells. And once it is within you, then you line up to it. There is absolutely no need to revisit, because you have completed or called in that which is ready to be grounded, embodied, solidified, and created from. And this is one of the strongest elements of this path, of this journey. That each woman understands that there is a process of activation, clearing, purifying, solidifying, creation. These are the steps forward in each cycle to understand where we are at, so that we can work with them and we can use our own intuitive knowing to move through these processes and to heal, to come into who we are. And so this library of information covers every possible fragmentation that could come up in the time that you are journeying. Every energy signature that is moved through in planetary alignment and the earth shifts will be brought through in this unique library that is specifically designed for the sisterhood of the purity of Isis that does move through this together. Because we are a collective energy. We create our own experience and we are all connected. So we are all moving through very similar things from different perspectives, different evolvements at different times, but all at the same time. And this is the beauty of understanding. There is no difference between you or I. And so if you're inspired by me, if you feel this light, this joy, this knowing by me, it's because you are it too. And you can access it. You can be it in any time. Sometimes we just require someone to assist us to remember, to find that light within, because they've already done it. It does not make the mentor or the guide any more better or known or superior. It just means that they access something within their own being before you, before I. And we require each other to gift humanity this new path of the golden planet. And so as you journey this 333 days, there are commitments and they are non-negotiables. I have to be very clear in this, because sometimes the psyche and the mind likes to create stories. And so the clarity and the transparency is very important to know what it is that you have a sacred yes to. You've so far said a sacred yes to 2 Zoom sessions a week. One for 2 hours, one for an hour and a half. And they start at 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. Brisbane Standard Time, a time that is manageable in the US and in America, as well as in the UK. All other time zones can move into this, as it will be some kind of day alignment. And so with this time, that's what you've committed to. That is a non-negotiable. You show up for that. You choose to show up for that, and if you miss out, and you can't do it because we are humans with human experiences. We have lives, we get sick. Sometimes we go through deep shadow purgings. We can't get out of bed. That's reality. Then you make the space to catch up and to receive within that week. So you don't fall behind. So that you don't exit your energy out of the container. So you don't give up your devotion to why you said yes in the first place. And then there is the Monday morning practice. The Monday morning practice is the thing that most of you with your human mind are going, I just need to know how much this is going to cost me. Now, the reason that you had come to a sacred yes within your spirit is because it's important to get to this point of knowing before you commit. And then to know within your being, within your source connection, this is undeniable. And whatever I need to do to line up to this, I will create because I know this is my path. And so when it comes to a financial exchange, this is a donation-based school of magic. The purity of Isis is donation, and it is done in a sliding scale. So there is a minimum donation per week. And the reason for this is that in the previous times, there has been no minimum. And what took place was that the human mind decided that there was not enough value for money. There was also a lack of commitment or ability to continue to show up. And when we have an attachment in the psyche, currently there's 92% of the human race that have this, we have to work with it. And so Spirit did guide to just be donation based, and unfortunately that did not work in the way that was intended, and there was an awareness of meeting humans where they're at. And when things shift and change, there is a way that we can see the value of something and show up for it without the attachment to money. But until then, there is a baseline. And so the baseline of that weekly monetary exchange is 77 AUD a week. This is the minimum. But the Monday morning practice is actually very unique. It means sitting with yourself each Monday in your connection to God, your source essence, and tuning in to the exchange number. The offering number of what am I gifting in monetary value, in abundance and prosperity to this beautiful guide that is gifting me something that my soul is yearning for. And if I'm gifting this value out, how can I see it come back tenfold in my receiving? In my own receiving of abundance, in my own monetary value, in my own gifts, in energy, in knowledge, in wisdom, in friendships, in relationships. How do I receive tenfold with the money with the number that is gifted to me in the giving out that I can then receive back? And this is a beautiful, beautiful way of trusting God, because you have your baseline, but you're not using your baseline in this practice. In this practice, you're sitting and you're asking for the true value of this number, and you're receiving it however large or however small it is. And when you receive that number, you're sitting with the discomfort it brings up for you. And each Monday there is a set of questions to self-reflect on your scarcity, on your ability to gift, on your ability to receive. There is a practice that comes into play to gift you so much awareness on where you still block yourself in both energetic ways of gifting or receiving, and where you have manipulated thought forms, wounds that play out in these kinds of situations that directly affect how you see yourself and how you see others. And so when you receive that number, you are then asked to sit with your human experience. If that number is a large number, say $555 for a week for this transmission, and you get that and you're like, 555, that's not something that I can actually maintain. You gift it energetically and you receive it back tenfold energetically. And then you ask for a number that is manageable within your financial, physical 3D experience, that is supportive to your family, that is supportive to stretching your limits, that is supportive to you being here and showing up for yourself, that really shows your appreciation for what you are moving through and what you're getting. And that process is then gifted in a transfer. A monetary transfer through either PayPal or a bank transfer if you're in Australia. And this is one of the most profound aspects of where I continue to see our sisters limit themselves, control themselves, and also lack the value that they are receiving in their own life. And it is an aspect that continues to, each Monday is a new awareness. Each Monday brings a new quantum practice. Each Monday is an initiation. And so with that awareness, that is the financial contribution that is required to commit to this process. The next aspect of this journey is that you create time so that you can jump on a discovery call with me, so that we can have a conversation around your time constraints, your relationships, your family dynamics, and your possible 3D reality that may come into play in this experience, so that we can discuss that and we can put a plan in place to ensure that you are supported. As well as I will tune into your timeline to see if you actually are on the highest timeline for this for the full 333 days, or if there is an awareness that you may be one of the individuals that falls out of this program early, in that there may be a juncture point on your own timeline that you do not finish or complete based on whatever it is that is being chosen. And so that we can have the awareness of that, so that you can choose sovereignly, through your sovereignty, whether or not you are willing to commence this process without fully completing it. And we use my oracle abilities to have a look into the quantum field and the energetics of where you're at from a frequency standpoint, from a initiation standpoint within your chakra systems, your meridians. And we do an analysis of what codes, what templates, and your soul's essence have been activated and remembered, so that we have a baseline awareness and we know what we're working with. And so if you have received the fullness of this Q&A and this explanation of what Purity of Isis, the School of Magic, the Purification Temple is in its beginner stages. So this is Initiate 4 phase. I do not work with any woman that has not come to this point. They cannot receive me. And there are advancements moving on. So once you do one 333-day journey, there is then the 5th and the 6th and the 7th initiate phases, pending how quickly you quantum leap and how quickly you move through the initiation process, until you are free from your human identity and you can live in alignment with your soul and just exude the love, joy, and abundance, and start to bring your ascended mastery into this human reality. If this resonates, please reach out to me directly. My email is Geeia, Geeia, dot Ariati, Ariati, geeiariati@gmail.com. My social medias will be linked, but you can find me at Geeia Ariati on TikTok, on YouTube, and also on Instagram and Facebook. And I will be launching a new website soon, and by the time that you are receiving this transmission, it may be linked below, where you can find information on how to set up a discovery call and start the initiation process. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your contribution to showing up here and seeing if this is the journey and the path for you. I love you, Ahave, and God bless.